I'm super glad today to have Roger Burnett from Social Good Promotions with us. Roger is a Caerusnet member. He has been now really pretty much since he kind of started his business a little bit. We were one of the first things that he did to kind of invest in himself and invest in his own business from a face-to-face marketing perspective. And I've had the pleasure of working with Roger as well too. The Caerusnet business card portfolios came from you, and I love that they help. I'm not just buying something at the lowest price and a throwaway item. I'm buying something that's well made, it looks good, it feels good, and then people feel good when they know that these portfolios have actually helped a socially good cause. So I think you've done a great job taking what people might think of as a commodity type business and turned it into a relationship type business. And what I would ask you is, A, we're here today to talk about something super exciting. I'm super proud of you, co-authored a book, Red Goldfish, and today, September 15th, is the day that it goes live. So tell us about Red Goldfish. What would a Caerusnet member or any member learn? Why would they want to be motivated to read your book? Because we're going to include a link to buying it on the YouTube drop down and on the website. So here's your pitch, Roger. Make it good.
It is really tough to stand out against your competition right now. It already was hard. Now it's even more difficult because in a marketplace that has essentially been removed to zero for most instances, everybody is trying to figure out now, as each marketplace starts to restart, it's like, well, how do you communicate your values in a way that a buyer who is really reluctant to want to spend any money right now would be compelled to actually give you some of their resources, as opposed to those people that you compete with for that which it is that you do for a living. So the book is really engineered around the concept of alignment between what your brand really stands for, and then the way that you communicate what your brand stands for, and the methods by which you can employ then to have those messages be in alignment with your values, is really the all-encompassing overarching theme of the book. And then I use my opportunity and the way that our business is aligned and the ways that you described what we do to make the case for why purpose could be a really compelling argument for any business owner if they're seeking different ways to align and be seen as competitively differentiated from their competition.
When you and I spoke yesterday, you were telling me a little bit about the book as it being like a workbook, like something that you read and kind of think through. Can you speak to that a little bit?
Yeah, so what we realized in our 3 years of research were there were some overarching themes that a business could decide that if the strategy and the argument that we make around purpose being a strong differentiator is true, you can use the back half of the book to then begin to organize your own thoughts around these different categories that we've highlighted as being potential avenues for business owners to then start their own efforts. So there's a lot of buy one, give one activity going on out there in the marketplace. There's a lot of sustainability and environmentally focused activity that people are focused on as a differentiator. Diversity and inclusion in employment is a big one these days, given what's going on socioeconomically. So what we've tried to do is break the book down in a way that someone could passionately identify with one of the categories, and then by the time the book's finished, have at least a semblance of something that you could begin working on to develop for yourself in your own company.
What's your hope? What's your hope that people are going to learn as well too? The number one thing you think that any business is going to come to you and say after they read the book, do you feel like there's some sort of a response that people are going to have kind of in general to that, kind of like the smack on the head, like why didn't I think of this? Maybe you can elaborate on that a little bit.
I don't think anyone wasn't already somewhat looking over their shoulder. Things have been going too well for too long to think that something bad wasn't eventually going to happen. But it's really difficult for any business leader to pause what they're doing to actually get orders out the door in order to then focus on what that change might be now that the economy has idled. So nothing like a global pandemic to give people the opportunity to really consider working on their business as opposed to working in it. And so I'm hoping that this gives you that opportunity to take your curiosity that you may have about what it is that you could do for your own business going forward to help it better compete, and then use what we've been able to document by way of the case studies within the book to give you that roadmap. But, you know, Steve, what this has really meant at the end of the day is to recognize that, like, this is a journey. This is a step of many countless steps that you're going to have to take in order to be able to get yourself there. So this is meant to do as much as get you off the couch and involved in trying to do something as anything. But then, you know, the beautiful part about Caerusnet and me being a member of this community is if you get stuck, I'm kind of here. So if you need, you know, a hand, or if you need to spend some time with the people who wrote the book, learning what you might be able to do if you get a helping hand along the way, you know, we're not going anywhere.
Yeah, that's wonderful. So if you need to get a hold of Roger, you can find him on the Caerusnet website just by doing the member search. Just type in Roger or social. He'll come up for either of those. Big fan of trust builders like myself. And of course, you can obviously consult and help people along this journey as well too. Roger, I'm extremely proud of you and excited. If you're a Caerusnet member out there and you're doing great things like Roger is with Red Goldfish, I want to know about it. I want to share those things with the community, because Caerusnet seems to attract the overachievers and the people that squeeze every drop out of life. Roger, you're one of those people. I wish you the absolute success with your book. I cannot wait to read it. It'll find its way to, I get all my books in paperback or hardcover because they go to my hot tub with me. That's where I do all of my reading. So the pages are going to be a little wrinkled when you actually sign my copy, but I can't wait to read it. Very proud of you. And I encourage all Caerusnet members, if you're in charge at all with how your company operates, if you're in charge at all with the image that you're putting out there, and you want to build your culture, because culture building is a big part of this as well, right, Roger?
Absolutely. It serves as a rallying cry for many an organization who chooses to show their giving heart as a big part of their company culture and their brand.
Yeah, heart is where it's at right now, for sure. Roger, I wish you the absolute best. Thanks for taking time out of your day to be with us. Order Red Goldfish, everybody. You're going to learn a ton.
All the places we